Alright, the Goblin is here, the Gremlin. Chime is finally here. She came with Nayuta the same day. We got a copy for free. So let's talk a little bit about her performance with Crown, because that's her only job. That's her only purpose in life, being a Crown buffer, a Crown enabler. So let's talk a little bit about her, what's going on with her, if it's worth bringing her or not versus other Iron supporters, because we have right now Union Raid open, so we can check on Iron Week. And also, obviously, before we start, hello to the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. And I want to go over multiple things with Chime. First of all, I got her Overload level 0, 777. Doesn't matter what cube you put on her, put whatever is highest level for stats, nothing else. She is, in my opinion, and I know some people will disagree, a brick. She's a character that's worthless unless you have grown. If you have grown, we'll talk about now how she feels, but this is a character that I have mixed feelings, because the reality is that free characters in NIKKE are usually pretty fucking bad, right? The last character we got that was decent was Snow White, this one, the Innocent Days version. It was a good character for people who started playing whenever this event was starting. I don't remember if it was second anni or when, honestly I don't remember. Whatever it was a good unit for new players. But the thing with Chime is that she's useless to new players. Now, yes, she will help with the 160 wall, but that's not reason enough to make a character like this. I like her kit. I do like the idea of making a character that just is gonna be buffing Crown because it goes with the lore. It's actually pretty fun. But at the same time, this is the same as Arcana and as Trina, but way worse. So Trina, for example, has a 20% attack damage on her burst. That works for everyone. That alone makes her better than most buffers in the game, because 20% attack damage on a 20-second cooldown character is good. Arcana is kind of a brick without Isabel, but it still is providing attack, and I believe attack damage as well. I might be tripping on this one. But when it comes to Chime, the only thing she provides is max ammunition capacity and re-enter burst 2. Like, without Crown, that's the only thing she has. This is by far, without the character that she's supposed to buff, the worst character in the game. By far. Like, there is nothing that comes close to how useless she is. Again, without Crown. With Crown, we'll talk about now the test and how she's performing and a few things regarding what buffers are better to be running, right? But without Crown, it just does not make sense. So once again, conflicted feelings, mixed feelings in terms of if I like her or not, because on one hand, it's useful for people who have Crown. For some raids, on the other hand, is a useless character that will only help on the 160 wall, which is still something good, right? Helping people break the 160 wall is nice early on. It shouldn't even exist to begin with, the 160 wall, so let's not pretend Shift Up is being generous here or magnanimous with you, okay? But still, enough ranting. Let's actually talk about how her kit works, if it's worth building her or not, and everything else. So like I was saying earlier, 777 on her skill, Overload, does not matter what stats you get. The only thing you care about is that this skill 1 is based on caster's attack. So obviously, the more you invest into her, the more combat power she gets, the higher this buff will be. But it is not worth going past 777. In fact, I would even say like 4 to 7 on most skills is fine, but a 777, if you are actually planning to use her, is enough. You don't care what lines she gets. The more lines you get for more combat power, the better. And obviously the same for the cube. She doesn't benefit from anything because her damage doesn't exist. Like, this is a character that's a brick. It's just giving Crown stats. That's her only purpose in life. So just your highest level once again to keep getting more attack on Chime herself. When it comes to her skills, outside that the skill 1, everything else is pretty simple because it's just normal damage multiplier on skill 2 and attack damage on her burst. Again, the king, it's only Crown. No one else can get this buff. Maybe in the future, we get another king, because again, a chess match will have 2 kings, 2 queens, so maybe we will be able to buff whoever other character is going to be that other king, right? We don't know yet, we'll see in the future, but at least for now, this is just Arcana or Trina for Crown. That's it. All that jumping aside, how is she actually performing with Crown? Sefhi, stop ranting and show us the damage. What is going on? So let's go first with Litter as a V1 and then Siren as a V1. We were testing in on Runaway on Union Raid, and as you can see, well, we were running Raven and Eve as our damage dealers. I was not running Rapid Red Hood because the Stellar Raid characters are hotter. And I like them, okay? Big booty, nice fan service, nothing else. So Litter V1, Chime into Crown into whoever is bursting there. Eve is also buffing Raven and everyone else because this is a pure Iron team. And with this setup, we were doing 3.5 and 2.5 on Raven and Eve. And then running Helm Aquamarine instead, we were getting 4.5 versus 3 billion. And that's a Helm Aquamarine that is 474, not overloaded. And I highly doubt she even has a doll. She does not have a doll, she does not have dupes, she has absolutely nothing, no gear, 474. She was running a Quantum Cube. So, even on the situation where you are buffing Crown, yes, she is doing decent damage. She's going from 600 million that she will be doing normally to 1.1. It's also important to mention, the only reason to be using Chime is if you are willing to reroll your Crown to get 4 attack for Elemental, which is crazy. Obviously, if you want to, you can go ahead. I'm no one to judge with some of the investment of my characters, all right? But it feels like way too much. I mean, 4-4. Get at least 2-3 elemental, 2-3 attack lines on your Crown, so she can actually do damage. If you have that, she's gonna be doing even more damage. Mine, sadly, only has, I think it's 1 attack, 1 elemental. 1 attack, 1 elemental, nothing. 2 attack, 1 elemental. I am not rerolling her any higher, but I do believe she will be performing better the more you invest into her. But even then, in that situation, Helm Aquamarine is probably going to be buffing her more. And then the last situation where we were running, instead of Helm, it was just normal Helm. My normal Helm has way too much investment. Usually for iron content, Helm Aquamarine is better, but Helm Treasure is too stupid. So we went to 4.9 bill, 3.6 bill. And then I was, okay, instead of Litter, let me check with Siren to have faster rotations so we can actually show better results, right? Because obviously with Helm Treasure, the rotations will be way faster than running Helm Aquamarine or Chime Crown. So we put Siren in here, and then we went from 8 billion in this one to 8.6, Crown doing 1.1. So that's a nice improvement still just by running Siren. Then we switched to Helm Aquamarine again. We went to 9.8 billion, doing 4.4 and 3.1 in here, which is a nice increase. And then lastly with Helm, once again, 4.5, 3.4, getting much closer to Helm Aquamarine because now we have good rotations with Little Mermaid instead of Litter. So all in all, I just have a hard time figuring out where you really want to be running her versus putting Crown on your good teams. Crown is your team 1 buffer. The only reason she would not be your team 1 buffer is Cinderella or now on wind content because we have Nayuta. Anywhere else, she's team 1 buffer. Now, on some raids, she has been used on the Miranda team, she has been used on some other places. So on those situations, I could see some people trying to bring Chime into it if they have like an Omega invested Crown, but even then, it feels kind of a waste to lose 1 character because you are losing 1 character when you bring Chime. But then again, I'm being kind of a hater here. I think it can work. I just cannot fathom why you would do that rather than putting any other character. So with all that in mind, for now, I think like she's like a T4, T5 character. T4, if we consider her a pair with Crown. Without Crown, she deserves like her own tier, a T6, right? That with how bad she would be. But if you are pairing her with Crown, it could work. It will just be dealing less damage than bringing the main buffers, right? The main meta buffers. But like I was saying earlier, I'm kind of being harsh with her because I just don't see a situation with how many buffers we have nowadays, right? Because we have so many good buffers that are B2s. That is like, why would you be bringing that instead of any of the characters in here, instead of any of the characters in here like a T2, instead of just bringing bunnies or whatever it is, right? Like I have a hard time thinking why you be doing that rather than putting Chime in the team. But all that said though, this is a little bit of a personal grudge I have with this gremlin. I don't like her. All that jumping aside, if you actually want to fully invest into her, get her bond up, get her doll up, and get her as high as possible for the attack buff on skill 1, Crown deals good damage. And as you might have seen on my Twitter, I even shared a picture of her competing with Red Hood and Red Hood doing, I think it was either close or less damage than Crown, which is funny. It was like a bad setup, a bad team setup, this one right here, where Crown was doing 2.2 and Red Hood doing 2.1. It is a situation that in most cases will not happen because we were running those 3. I believe it was Helm and Siren as well. So it was like a team you would not be running like almost at any situation. So more than, oh, Crown is stronger than Red Hood, it's just no, it wasn't a specific team to see how they were doing together, nothing else. All right, that's it, enough japping. This skin has me acting up, not gonna lie, but that's enough for this video. Enough ranting on Chime. I don't think it's worth investing in her. If you like her, it can work, it can work. I just don't see a situation where it's gonna be better investing in Chime than investing into any of the other meta supports you can slot anywhere. Do let me know if you guys have tested Chime on your own and how she's feeling to you, and if you think she's gonna be used on raids or not. As usual, we are live every single day, links in the description down below. Good luck with your pool, the internet, and I'll see you in the next one.